Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VI. Last time we arrived at Figaro Castle, met the king of Figaro, Edgar, who's now in our party, and we also learned about his missing brother, Sabin. Kefka showed up looking for Terra, whom Edgar refused to turn over, so Kefka put the castle to the torch. And Edgar, Locke, and Terra took off on chocobos while the castle submerged into the sand, which is an awesome thing I get to say. One step into this cave. Ooh, that's a lot of stuff. We better steal from them. Better steal real good. Get to show off the Bioblaster, which is really good in this situation. The auto crossbow will also hit everything. And then we can do some AoE fire magic with Terra. And then maybe steal again if they all survive. They almost certainly won't. So we're now heading through this cave, which will lead us into South Figaro. South Figaro is going to be our first proper hub town that's, oh yeah, restored upon. That's not just a big plot dump kind of area. Of course, we are going to get some plot progression in there. We're going to learn where we're going next. And we might even nose in on a couple of other brewing plot lines. And a little bit of foreshadowing up in there. So today, I just want to talk about the ATB, because it's such an important part of Final Fantasy history. So first off, Aurochs. We seen these in one of the last cave battles? No. Either way, I'm going on a big tangent, so I'm going to leave this in. So I said this in FF8, and this information comes from an old 1UP interview with Hiroyuki Ito, who is, if you don't know him, he's the father of Final Fantasy Combat. Up until, like, FF9 and 10. The famous turn-based system was inspired by American football. Which, yeah, doesn't that just sound odd? But it's inspired by American football players, you know, predetermining their plays, taking sides on a field. That's it. I think the reason that hits the ear in such a strange way is because we've had decades and decades of turn-based games now to take for granted. And it's such an elegant system that you mistake it for being an obvious solution to the question of how do we come up with a way for players to engage their characters with the monsters? And it's, at the time, it was really, really innovative. But I think the fact that you take it for granted as this obvious thing is the hallmark of why it's so elegant. And I want to also say, if memory serves, Formula 1 went on to inspire the way the ATB works. Could be wrong about that. But yeah, Final Fantasy battle systems have been evolving for as long as the series has existed, honestly. The first 3 games are the ones that just use the pure turn-based style, by the way. I think, oh god, it's been such a long time. I think agility impacted the turn order, but yeah, there was no ATB until Final Fantasy IV. And we have arrived in South... Oh, can we talk to him yet? No, he's on his way over to the pub. Yeah, we got proper shops now, we got an inn, we have a pub, and a lot of people to talk to and houses to invade. I think you can rent chocobos in here, there's no reason to right now. There are also a bunch of items that, just like in the caves, you'll notice we skipped a bunch of chests. Again, that's very deliberate, and the reason why we're doing that will become apparent soon. Here, we're going to learn about relics. They're equipable side items like accessories and stuff. Mog is going to tell us a little bit more about this, but we don't really need that information. They just provide special benefits. So yeah, where was I? Final Fantasy IV is where the ATB finally got introduced. And the ATB is great. Like, I love turn-based stuff, don't get me wrong, but I really don't think the old Final Fantasy games were very good at being turn-based games. Like, as far as FF goes, I think the ATB is probably my favorite combat system. Because I don't really think Final Fantasy explores the full depth and potential of just pure turn-based combat. Jeez, the woman's having night terrors. Like, you know what I love? I love XCOM. I love Darkest Dungeon. Battle Chasers looks great. Oh yeah, Duncan's students. I think it's the guy in the eye patch down there. Who'll tell us a little bit more. On. Duncan made his son Vargas practice a strict martial arts lifestyle. Vargas resented it. I thought he had a little bit more. Either way, well, let's just... Okay. Either way, we're getting little hints of things to come, and this guy... Give me a response. He seems vaguely familiar. Wait a minute. Oh, he's the Strider. The Strider. We get to name him. He owes allegiance to no one, will do anything for money, comes and goes like the wind. He is... Shadow the Edgehog. Ow, the edge. He'd slit his mama's throat for a nickel. Oh shit, it's so petty. It's so petty. Yeah, shit, Battle Chasers, I was saying, looks like it's gonna be great. Cosmic Star Heroine looks like it's developing really well. I love Bravely Default and Bravely Second. They have such cool combat systems. FF 1 through 3? Not so much. So I think the ATB is the real sweet spot for Final Fantasy. 4 through 9. 4 through 9 are like the sweet spots. And you all know I have like that particularly soft spot for Final Fantasy VIII because the junction system opens up so many possibilities, and it's way, way less obtuse than people think, and you could do so much with it. I showed all that off in the FF8 LP. I think we want to come up here. It's just, it offers that extra little bit of nuance that you can exploit. Or if you just don't want to deal with it, you can mostly automate your way through it and ignore junctioning. But yeah, I've already been through all that in the LP. 10 is great in its own way. The system is anyway. I think 10 has its problems with with encounter design, but the system that underlies all of it, that's rock solid. There's always a nasty draft in this room. Where is it coming from? That is a good hint. Always go behind that bookshelf, because there's a set of hidden stairs that leads to a basement. A basement that houses a shitload of goodies. Not in this room, though. This is an empty bucket. Kind of ominous. Like a waterboarding room. A room with a save point. This is the money room. This is literally the money room because you can pick up like 5,000 gil in here. If I can figure out how to get the fuck out. There we go. It's not obvious that there's a gap. Yeah, so we're just gonna get boatloads of gil in here. I don't think this turns into anything later, so it's safe to just pillage through all the chests. I don't know if we're ever going to get anything, at least not another mainline Final Fantasy again that's either turn-based or ATB-based. Because Square seems really up its own ass lately with trying to go the action RPG route, which I don't love. I mean, I did start this off saying, by the way, we have a sub-basement number 2 with, I think this is a Hyper Wrist and Hermes shoes in the other one. I did start this whole thing off saying that the combat system of Final Fantasy is constantly evolving. I don't necessarily think that it's always evolving in a direction I'm super happy with, but it is always evolving. No, that makes it sound like it's always moving forward or it's always progressing. It's not necessarily. Because I take... Whoops, that's not the way. I take issue with the notion that turn-based combat and ATB-based combat are somehow archaic, that they're outdated, and that they need to be left behind, that they need to be evolved from. I kind of take issue with that. Sir... Oh yeah, I can kind of equip the whole crew. Mithril swords and knives for everybody. I don't think I'm gonna pick up the Great Knife yet. By the way, I believe I am getting the 50% discount for having Edgar as the lead in the party still. I think that extends down into South Figaro. It should, anyway. And then I definitely want to get Kempo Gis for everyone. I don't know if I want to get more than that right now. I think the reason that I take issue with Final Fantasy moving on from turn-based and ATB so much is because it was kind of the last bastion of, like, AAA combat systems that were so deliberate and methodical like that. Like, Final Fantasy was for a long time the last bastion, but it's been a long time, and I think this is partly me refusing to move on. Because it hasn't really been that way since FF12. And I still have my replacements. They're usually smaller handheld games or indie games, but I still have turn-based games to show some love to. I guess to get more into that, there are specific reasons why a couple of these combat systems don't work for me, aside from just I like turn-based or ATB-based more for Final Fantasy. 12 did nothing for me because it was really stilted. They tried to move more into an action RPG route while still maintaining a couple vestiges, and it's just this kind of ugly, half-assed system. Plus, I hate the inverted camera in that. I absolutely despise that. I am waiting for the remake of FF12, or the HD remaster, whatever it's going to be, to come out, to give it a second chance, because I'm sure they will modernize a couple of things, like not having the option to uninvert the camera. So I'm waiting for that. 13, I think, has the abso-fucking-worst mainline Final Fantasy battle system, because you only have agency over one character, and the rest was this stupid paradigm system. To give Final Fantasy 13 a little bit of credit, I did like the way staggering worked. I'm just going to cut this short real quick, because I have a little bit of menuing to do, so it might be a minute or two. I'm going to cut ahead and then resume this. Okay, we're back. We're ready to get back out into the world and head off to our next area. We're going to follow up on a couple of leads that we got in town about this Vargas character who took a bunch of his disciples out into the Colts Mountain, which is to the east of South Figaro. So we're going to be on our way down there right now. These things are so weird. I think they're the... I think the Moo is the one in the back, and the Unseelies, the big bug-eyed rats. So where was I? Because there's only one game left aside from the MMOs, which is 15, which is finally out. Weird as hell to say. First off, it doesn't have the depth of a real action game or the style. And it doesn't have the just perfect control scheme, the satisfaction, the weight of like a Souls-style action RPG. Hold on. Oh, yeah! So it's in this weird middle ground of just being okay. It's good for what it is, but it's not what I want, and I think it's also in this kind of mediocre middle ground where it works fine, but I don't think it excels at anything. It does have the Chrono Trigger dual text, though. Does have that. And we can follow him kind of right over the edge there. Holy shit, the encounter rate's pretty high. But we haven't seen the plants before. Or my eyes glazed over. Either way, let's burn them up. Just potion. I think enemies tend to have 2 slots that they can have items in. Oh, we can use one of Terra's newly acquired abilities. I think whoops, I cured. That's okay. We can also use it out of combat after this is all taken care of. We did need a top up. Just have that muscle memory to go for the cure. Jesus, this song. Oh, man. And now Locke is cured of poison. So, are you ready for another in what will become the most common refrain of this LP? I adore this song. Love it. Oh, and we got a tent. Nice. You know what's great about this? Rediscovering how much good music is in FF6. I don't listen to the soundtrack very often, and it's been a while since I played it. So all of the old favorites stayed fresh in my head, like Terra's theme, never gonna forget Terra's theme, or Dancing Mad, or the battle theme, or Fierce Battle. But then all of the others are just flooding back in as I play. And it's like, oh yeah, this is all sublime. This is all great. You just can't escape from the great music. There's a reason why Uematsu remembers Final Fantasy VI as his favorite game to compose music for. Wait, we've seen these. Have we seen these? No, I'm thinking of the Megalodots. These ones actually have the potential to hurt us a little bit. Yeah, we gotta play it just a little bit carefully. We have Locke out in the front, doing the most just regular attack damage. Can't really afford to steal too much. There's one particularly dangerous enemy that we have not come across yet, unfortunately. There's, I think, one around here that can petrify. Actually, there are 2 pretty dangerous ones. There's one that can petrify you, and then there's another one called the Belmadar, which have a chance to counter you with Megavolt, just like the first boss, Emir. But you could steal something really valuable from one of those. Actually, are they only in the field on the world map, or are they also in the mountains? So unlike before, we can't exactly follow that shadowy figure directly. We have to take a different route to get to him. There we go. Now I can put a sleeping bag on Terra, just mainly to get her MP back. It was a little bit wasteful. Anyway, that's gonna do it for now. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.